Researchers and scientists agree that we are indeed approaching the end of what the Mayans define as the current age. Even though many science groups are still debating the full implications of what passing through the galactic plane will have upon Earth, we have already begun to see the early stages that the increased gravitational influence is having upon our world and other planets in the solar system.
There is no threat to Earth in 2012. There is no danger. All of the talk about a doomsday is a big hoax perpetuated on the internet and with people trying to make money. So please don't worry about it.
As we approach the gravitational plane, we will continue to experience severe weather and ecological effects such as earthquakes, tsunamis, hurricanes, and volcanic activity with increased frequency and intensity. We may witness unprecedented solar flares, unexpected meteor showers, and one or more geographical pole shifts.
What I'm asking all of you in the NASA family, whether you're out on the West Coast here, on the East Coast, along the Gulf Coast, up on the Great Lakes, think about the natural disasters that could occur in your area. Think about attacks that could come like 9/11 from outside forces, and talk to your family about your work and what they need to do to prepare for the unforeseen.
Unexpected celestial objects may pass through the solar system, as they too are influenced by the gravitational plane. This may account for the ancient records describing several past worldwide catastrophes accompanied by passing bodies, comets, or what some researchers today refer to as Planet X.
There's no planet Nibiru, there's no planet X, and nothing is hurtling toward us.
There's been a lot of talk about a Planet X or Nibiru as a giant planet that's going to hit the Earth or at least come very close in December 2012. Simple fact is Nibiru does not exist.
There's a huge, hidden, heavenly body right here in our solar system.
All you have to do is ask the astronomers. If Nibiru or Planet X were going to come into the inner solar system in 2012, astronomers would have been tracking it for the last decade.
Based on the perturbations observed in the orbit of Uranus, a brilliant young 19th century British mathematician and astronomer by the name of John Couch Adams mathematically predicted the existence and position of a massive object in the outer solar system, one he believed was large enough to be Uranus's perturber. Then, German astronomer John Gall used Adams' mathematical prediction to discover the planet Neptune in 1846. And as with Uranus, astronomers would then find perturbations in the orbit of Neptune as well.
But there's no telescopic evidence. There's no evidence that it's perturbed any of the inner planets or the outer planets.
When Clyde Tombaugh discovered the planet Pluto in 1930, many jumped to the conclusion that it was the mysterious Planet X that everyone had been looking for so long. However, when the mathematicians began running the numbers, it became quickly obvious that Pluto had nowhere near the mass to be Neptune's perturber.
But there have been claims on the internet that there is a planet called Nibiru, 4 times the size of the Earth, that's going to come close to the Earth or smack it in December of 2012.
It's not there. It's a no-show. There's nothing to worry about some object coming and striking the Earth or damaging us.
Evidence is mounting that either a brown dwarf star or a gas giant planet is lurking at the outermost reaches of our solar system, far beyond the planet Pluto. According to the British newspaper The Independent, the object is 4 times the size of Jupiter. Experts say the presence of such a massive object could explain why a barrage of comets has been coming from that direction.
Winter solstice 2012, December 21st, the sun rises within the dark rift at the center of the Milky Way. And they call this dark rift a cosmic mother, or they also apparently refer to it as a black hole. And only in the last 5 years have Western astronomers discovered that there is actually an enormous black hole at the center of the Milky Way, which is at the center of our galaxy.
There's also been concern about a so-called galactic alignment, because in December of every year, the sun is roughly in the direction of the galactic center as seen from Earth. This happens every year. It really doesn't mean anything, and there's nothing special about 2012.
Modern astronomers concur with the ancient Mayans. On December 21st, 2012, the Earth will be in exact alignment with the Sun and the center of the Milky Way galaxy. A galactic event that takes place only once every 25,800 years.
In fact, alignments, although it may sound scary to some people, are just not an issue for scientists. There are no special forces when planets align or the sun aligns. It's sort of a curiosity, but not something of real scientific interest.
But planets aligning, a lot of scientists believe, also causes things to go on with the magnetic fields.
Well, look at the Chilean earthquake. You realize that it was so big it actually rocked the planet Earth? The axis of the Earth shifted 3 inches as a consequence of that 8.8 earthquake. The day is no longer 24 hours. It's been shortened by 1 microsecond.
You said there are 5 major cities that should be concerned.
In our lifetime, we could very well see one of these cities destroyed. We will actually see this happen, perhaps. San Francisco, Los Angeles, Tokyo, Mexico City, Tehran in Iran.
Okay, guys. You gotta ask yourself why an astrophysicist is giving you a warning about geological changes on the planet, okay? Now look, February 27th, that's when the Chile earthquake happened, okay? I'll scroll down a little bit so you can look at this and see the map, see where Chile is. That's on the Pacific plate, that's the Ring of Fire. Now look at this. February 27th, 2010. Astrophysicist. What's happening on February 27th? He said the axis of the Earth shifted. There is a perfect alignment of comet Elenin and Earth. Do you see that? You got the sun in the center, you got Earth right there. See where it is? And there's Elenin. Okay, that's your answer right there. That's why they have an astrophysicist giving us the warning.
I don't know, but you got to give this woman due, because on March 8th, when this was uploaded to YouTube, the date doesn't lie. It's got the timestamp on it. It's 9 Nana is the name of the channel. She gets into all of this, and people are freaking out because she said, if you're near a fault line on the 11th, get out of there. And I actually was shown this on the 9th and laughed at it. But I'm not laughing now.
March 11th is this Friday. It's coming into alignment. And it looks to me like it's in alignment around the 13th, the 14th, the 15th. That's this weekend.
In northeastern Japan is being hit by a tsunami that's following an earthquake thought to have measured 8.9 on the Richter scale.
There's also been concern that somehow the Earth's poles are going to flip. No one quite explains how this could happen, and if you're talking about the rotation pole of the Earth, that can't change. It never has and never will.
Geophysicists have a theory that is strikingly similar to the events predicted by the Mayan alignment. This phenomenon is called pole shift, in which the entire mantle of the Earth would shift in a matter of days, perhaps hours.
Some people, however, are concerned about the change in the magnetic polarity, a shift of the North and South Pole, which does take place every few 100,000 years. But there's no reason to think it will happen in 2012, and actually no evidence that it would do any harm to us, even if it did happen.
Even if this pole shift took place slowly over years, it would result in global climate change and shifting sea levels. If it took place rapidly, it would mean planet-wide disaster and mass extinction of species.
Some people have speculated that there's a shift beginning.
And there's no evidence whatsoever that it's going to start changing polarity in 2012.
But over the last few decades, it's been moving, and now it's moved all the way from northern Canada into northern Siberia.
As unlikely as this theory seems, it is backed by science. Albert Einstein first suggested it in 1955.
Again, all this 2012 talk is just a hoax. It's a fake. It's nothing you should worry about.
September 11th, 2001 stands 11 years from 2012.
Yeah.
Right. And there's an author called Jose Arguelles. He wrote that from 1992 to 2012 would be in a period of May and no time, the time of no time, which was a transition of the ages kind of period in which, you know, basically world disasters and tension would be on the up and rise constantly.
And there's no solar maximum predicted in 2012. The next solar maximum is predicted for the spring of 2013, and it's actually anticipated that it will be much lower than usual.
Because, see, we scientists made a mistake. We thought that the next cycle was going to be quiet. Well, some of our data was off by a factor of 20, and that's why we're issuing this alert now. We made a mistake. The next cycle, peaking around 2012, will be much more serious than we previously thought.
The most severe effects that will cause worldwide devastation and a pole shift are most likely to occur beginning sometime between the years 2008 and 2015.
And this period of no time was 1992 to 2012. And so 9/11 in September the 11th, 2001 was 9 years from the start of no time, 11 years till the end of no time.
Mm-hmm.
So, synchronistically, it was placed bang on where, it should have been.
Well, one thing is for sure. The ancients endured several worldwide catastrophes that all but erased their civilizations from the face of the earth. Their clues, structural remains, and records have attempted to warn us and prepare us for the reoccurrence of this cyclic event. Warnings that so far humanity has ignored.